All right, welcome back to season 7 of our show, and it's turkey time, and who doesn't love them fried? Let's show you how to get it done. So what you're going to need for this cook, obviously, is a turkey. So we got a 13-pound bird here. That's about where I want to keep them, 13, 14 pounds, 12 or a little bit under. That's where you want to go with it because I don't like big birds. They get real tough on you, and you don't want to fry up a tough buzzard. So let's get this off to the side, and we're just going to get this onto the bench. So most people will take this turkey and they'll put it into a bunch of oil and they'll try to fry it whole. To me, that's the dangerous way, and it's not the flavorful way. You're not going to get each and every piece on this turkey that tastes excellent. So what do? Cut it up. The first thing I'm going to do is cut it through the breast. I like to cut it just like a chicken. I'm going to go through the breast. You got to put some work into this. I'm going to give it a tap and come through. This is not going to be an easy cut. So let's take it here, and we're just going to come down the breastplate on this one. So I'm just going to make a slight incision down here. And then we're just going to take it and crack it. So just like that, and now it's open. So I'm going to take my knife and come through the breastplate. Once I get through, I'm just going to come down. So like I said, it's not going to be such an easy cut on you. Nice sharp knife. Let's get the skin out of the way, and we're just going to get it halved. Let's tap and go through. And there it is. So not exactly the easiest thing to do, but it's doable. With a nice sharp knife, take your time and you'll get through it. All right, so here's our drumstick. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna find my joint. I'm gonna twist a little bit. And I'm just gonna give it a little tap. And now I'm through. So just like a chicken, just a little bit harder to cut up because I gotta put a little force onto it. Here's my wing, so I'm gonna cut it out just like a chicken. Just like that. So now we got that. All this fat on here, I'm gonna cut this off. And you can save this for a stock. Makes a great turkey stock. And now I'm gonna find my breast and my thigh. So I'm just gonna put my knife right between the breast and the thigh right here. I'm gonna take it and cut through. When I get to the bone connecting the backbone and the breast, I'm gonna tap through. Just like that. And we're just gonna cut through. So there it is. That wasn't too bad. It's a big bird, so when it's wet, it's a little bit slippery, and then you just wanna clean up all your fat. I'm gonna find where the backbone connects straight to there, and I'm just gonna chop it straight through. And now I got this nice bony piece here, which fries up lovely. So we'll get this off to the side. Here's my breast. It's a big old breast. So I'm gonna clean up. And now this breast I want to half. So I'm gonna take a look around, see if anything else is connected to here that I don't want. And I'm gonna start high. So I'm gonna make an incision right into the breast, just like that. And then I'm gonna tap my way through. One more tap, and slide through. And by the way, this is a very cheap knife. It's a $12 knife. I won't abuse my good knives. I'll just use a cheap one and keep it real sharp. And that's what you want to do. So let's put this off to the side. And look at that. You got a nice half big breast here. I'm going to fry this in probably one piece. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And let's bring in our other half. All right, here we go. So we're going to do this one more time. So right between the breast and the thigh, let's cut this out first. Just like you would do a chicken. Here's my wing. Let's just separate our wing right in here. I'm gonna tap through, just like that, and then drag. Clean up, and there it is. Here's my breast. I'm gonna go high on here, come straight through, tap, and get to that bone. And there you go. So you're gonna have to put some muscle into this little guy, but I've been doing this for years. I mean, how fast did that go? There we go. Straight through the leg. And we're looking at a tail here. Turkey tails are excellent. I'm gonna keep that. That goes in a stock. And here's my thigh. So I'm just gonna clean that up. Now turkey's really lean, so there's not a lot of fat on here. I'm gonna save that off to the side. And that's the only thing we're throwing away on this turkey. And everything else that's on here, it's a really lean turkey. We're gonna fry this whole just like that, one big piece. And there you have it. There's a whole turkey cut up in no time. All right, I'm gonna clean up and we're gonna show you how to get this seasoned up, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, turkey's cut up. Now it's time to get it seasoned up. Let's get it done. Take a look at this turkey. You know, one of the reasons why I love frying turkey is because it doesn't fry up like chicken. You know, with chicken, you have to batter it. You gotta put things on it. With this, you just have to season it and drop it in the oil. It's very simple. And it all comes down to the oil that you fry in. We're frying this in lard. Take a look at this. These are seasonings that we're using. Onion powder, garlic powder. Got a little paprika in here, a touch of Szechuan, a little oregano. We're gonna shake this up. There's no salt in here. So make these spices yours, whatever seasonings you like or whatever combo. I mean, you could just salt and pepper this and fry it up and it comes out amazing. So we're just gonna get that shook up. You know you need salt and pepper, right? So we're gonna go with some salt and pepper. Let's throw some salt on here. Make the amount yours. We are frying this. So I'm gonna go a little heavy-handed on the salt, black pepper, and get this on first. This way you can see what you're working with. You throw the rest of the spices on, it gets lost. So I'm gonna flip this over, just like this. And we're just gonna do up the other side. A lot of people don't fry their turkeys up in this style. They don't cut them up and fry them. They rather drop them in a big tub of oil and fry them outside, which is really dangerous because you try to get all that water out of the turkey, you're still gonna have a hard time getting the water out of the turkey unless you cut it up like this. And you can set this on a rack and let it dry out. This way there's no water in here at all. All right, I'm just gonna get some pepper on here. And another thing of frying like this, you can pull your breast out at one time, you know. Nothing's gonna get done at the same time. So you might need to pull the breast out at a different time, the legs and the wings out, and you just decide what things you wanna pull out at that particular time that are done. So this is a great way to do it. All right, so we get our spices on. And don't skimp on the spice. Hit it in there good. And we're gonna let this sit in the fridge for a couple hours. Or overnight. It's best overnight, but you can go for a couple hours in here. This is the way I like my turkey. Fried up, just like this, with some spices on. This is probably the best turkey you're gonna wanna have on Thanksgiving Day. And I'm not a big turkey fan, but I like it like this and I like it smoked. All right, we're gonna get this in the fridge and show you the rest of this gorgeous meal. You're gonna wanna see this one coming up. It's gonna be nice and old school. We'll meet you right back here, stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got that turkey out of the way. It is the South and nothing goes better this time of the year than some hog maws. Let's show you how to get these guys done. So for this dish, you're gonna need some pig stomach. I got 10 pounds worth. And the code name for these is hog maws. So I'm gonna take these and just get them into a bowl, just like that. They've been cleaned, rinsed. Now these are not to be mistaken with chitlins, because chitlins are the intestine. This is the stomach. If this was cow, this would be tripe. All right, we got some leeks here, so we're gonna go in with a few leeks. Now these leeks give a beautiful flavor. I'm gonna mix these with a little traditional onion as well too. So we got some leeks, we got some onion, Spanish onion, and just the flavor of those leeks is gonna flavor this pot outstandingly. All right, we got some bell pepper here. These are green. So I'm gonna go with a little green bell pepper. Just a tad, make the amount yours, and a little celery. All right, so we got some salt. Let's get our salt in. You don't want to put too much salt because you want to taste it and salt it afterwards. Chili flake, a little crushed up red chili flake. Now I like a lot of this in here because I don't like to hit this too much with hot sauce. So I'm going to use my chili flake. It's a lot healthier. And I'm just going to look around. I'm going to stir these up. And I'm going to see if I need more amounts of anything here. I'm going to go on with a little bit more leek because I love the flavor of leeks. And they cook down in here just beautifully. And I'm going to go in here with just a little bit more celery and the bell pepper. A couple of pieces more onion. And that's it. Now this is going to flavor that pot beautifully. We'll go for a little mix in here. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Now that's just my taste. And I'm going to mix these up. Now every holiday, I usually serve these. And it's just tradition. You know, my grandmother cooked them, my grandfather cooked them. But you don't really see this a lot today. You just gotta really love cooking to cook this up. And that's what I do. I love to cook. I love my family to enjoy things. And I love putting good food with memories on the table. And this is what this brings you back to, your childhood, your memories of how you grew up with your cousins, your family, your mother, your father. I mean, this is it, just in one pot. All right, I'm gonna add some water to this. Just like that. And I'm gonna bring it right up to the hog maw. And of course it's gonna cook down, so I don't wanna put too much water in here. And I'm gonna just mix this up while it's in here. Now you don't have to cook these outside or anything. They won't smell up your house. They emit pretty much zero odor. Now normally I'll mix these with the chitlins, but I got some family coming and they just like having just the hog maws by themselves. So we're gonna do them up today and give them just that. Onto the stove we go, about 3.5 to 4 hours with these. We'll meet you on the stove. All right, those hog maws are cooking away. I feel I want a stuffing with this dish. A little fried turkey, a little stuffing on the side. How about it? Let's get it done. So right here we got some turkey necks, turkey gizzards, a couple of tails in here. So little parts that come in the bag, these are them. They make an excellent gravy / broth. So we're doing a broth today. We're gonna get these in our pressure cooker. Now we're going 50 minutes in this pressure cooker with these. I got our celery, onion, carrot. Now with every great stuffing comes a good broth. Here's our leeks. Now I like to use leeks a lot, and especially they're readily available this time of year, so I gotta take advantage of those leeks because they taste really good. We're going in with a couple of bay leaves and black pepper. Just like that. Some water. And I'm gonna bring it up about halfway on the water because I want a very flavorful stock. And then salt. I'm gonna hit this with a good amount of salt. Now just remember, if you salt it heavily, just like this, you're not gonna need too much in your dish, so watch the salt level that you have in your dish because the broth is salted. All right, 50 minutes, we'll meet you right back here. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got our turkey inside the pressure cooker. It's making that stock. While it's doing that, let's show you the rest of this beautiful stuffing. So the stuffing we're making today is a sage sausage stuffing. So we got our sausage, we got our sage, we got our turkey that's inside the pressure cooker, and we're gonna mix it all together to show you this gorgeous stuffing. So I always leave some stale bread around the house. Now you don't want any mold on here, but when it gets hard, you could use it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna chop it up, and it makes one of the best stuffings. It's rustic, it holds all the flavor. This is probably one of the best stuffings that you're gonna get a hold of. So don't throw away your bread. Any bread will do. Just save it. All right, I'm gonna get finished chopping this up, and then I'm gonna meet you on the stove and we're gonna fry up that sausage. It's a homemade sage sausage. And we'll put this meal together when everything comes out of the cooker. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. right, so we got some sage going. We're toasting up our sage. And this is what you want to do. Bring out the flavor of the sage. And just as you smell the sage, starting to smell like sage, or really good sage, we're going in with some sausage. So we're going to cook these down in the sage. And at the last minute, we're going to throw our garlic in. After we get a nice toast on these sausages, we're going to throw our garlic in. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we got some good color on these sausages. Now we're not looking to cook them all the way through because they're going to go in the oven. They're going inside the stuffing. Let's get some garlic in. Now last minute, because you don't want to scar the garlic, you don't want it burned up on you. So just go in the last minute with it. And we're going to calm this pan down. And we're going to mix this around. And just as you smell the garlic, and you're getting some good fragrance from the garlic, we're going to go in with just a tad of wine. Just a little bit, just like that. Clean our pan and bring up all that flavor. That's it. So I'm going to scrape the bottom of this pan. Off the stove we go. We're going to dump this right into that stuffing. There it is. I'm going to shut this down and just put it to the back of my eye and just keep it warm. Just like that. I'm going to wait for my pressure cooker to stop. Take a look at this. Those are those beautiful hog maws. All right, we'll meet you back here. Don't go anywhere. All right, pressure cooker has stopped. Let's show you what to do from here. So here's our broth / stock. Now I pulled all the meat out of it, so it just has the carrots, the onions, and the celery in there, and it tastes beautiful. So you want to give that a taste. This way you make sure it's seasoned perfectly. Take a look at this. This is all the meat. So here's a giblet. I'm gonna pull that out. And you're just gonna slice up the giblets, just like that. It's a very old school way of making stuffing. Now I'm gonna save one of these for my dogs because they're not gonna let me get away with that one. So here it is. I'm gonna take this and just get it inside the bowl. So just like that. Now watch this. Here's a neck. Now back in the days when I was a little kid, my mom would make me sit there and pull all this meat right off of the neck. See that? You can separate the bones. And this neck has beautiful meat in here. See that? Just make sure there's no bones in here. Just put the bones off to the side. And then you got this beautiful neck meat. So I'm just gonna feel around with my hands. This is something that you have to do with your hands. So make sure you feel around with your hands and make sure there's no neck bones in here. Because the last thing you want to do is get a neck bone inside the stuffing. And that's it. All right, so I'm going to pull this apart. Then I'm going to meet you back here and we're going to put the stuffing together, get it in the oven. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're ready. Let's make some stuffing. So here's our bread that we cut up, that nice stale bread. Here's those sausages we cooked down. We're just going to bring the bread in and we're going to dump all of those sausages right into the bread. Get all that nice flavor in there. All right, so we got these guys in. I think I'm going to give them a toss. All right, so we got those guys in here. Here's everything that came out of the broth. All the meat we took off of the necks. I put some butter in here. You're gonna need a stick of butter just to get that nice flavor in here. You know, it's funny, you buy this stovetop stuffing in a box. They don't give you anything in there, right? And they tell you to boil up some water, drop their seasoning packet in there, drop some butter in there, and use their seasoning. So they're just giving you some bread, a little stuffing mix pack. There's no meat. This is the right way to do it. Save your bread, don't throw it away in the garbage, and it's basically like free bread. So if you're gonna spend $7 for 2 packages I saw the other day in the supermarket, I think you can do a lot better on your own. Combine yours with real flavor, and this is the way it was done when I was a kid. And those turkey necks, I would always get a couple of those turkey necks off to the side and go to town on those. And I never told my mom that, but I would take a couple of those turkey necks when she'd give me the pull apart, and I always eat them when I was a boy. All right, so here's that broth. So now that we took everything out of that broth, we're gonna need that, and we're just gonna wet the bread with it. Now the key is, don't wet it too much, because if you over wet it, it's gonna take forever to dry out. The bread's not gonna be light, fluffy. So just do it like this, and then just feel it out. See how it is. Just toss it, and when the bread gets about wet enough, you'll know it. The point where the bread's not really hard. I'm gonna get a little bit more in there. And now this nice stock right here, you could make a gravy out of this. You could do a whole lot of things with the stock. So don't throw this out. And what do? We made this out of giblets and neck bones. So it's gonna have a tremendous amount of flavor in here, and it's gonna taste just like Thanksgiving. All right, so let's get this mixed up, and we're gonna see where I'm at. I feel the bread getting a bit soft on me. I'm still not where I wanna be. And this smells amazing already. All right, let's get a little bit more in here. And just like that, you're gonna feel it out. I think I'm almost there. You can see the bottom of the bowl here, a little bit wet. I'm gonna let that bread just absorb everything in there. And sometimes you might wanna just let this sit for about 5 or 10 minutes and let it just absorb everything before you go in the oven with it. And speaking of oven, we got 375 degrees or 350 on convection, and that should just about do it for you. All right, I'm gonna go for one more ladle, maybe 2. And I'm gonna call it a day. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna mix this around, soak it in pretty good, and I think I got a beautiful stuffing. Now, usually I do a dressing. This year I didn't do a dressing. And usually I do a southern dressing, but this year I had some stale bread laying around, so why not? All right, let's get this off to the side. Let's bring in a nice 18 by 9. I'm gonna take a little olive oil just to oil the pan with it. I'm just gonna grease all the sides, just like that. This is gonna get a nice crispy bottom on the bottom of this. It's gonna be amazing. All right, so I'm gonna use my hands to get this in. This is where you wanna get your hands in this. So I'm gonna toss it again. And I'm just gonna bring it together, just right into the pan. Yep, there's my oven. So we're right on time. I'm just gonna form this. And one thing with me is I like to put this in the corners, because I love that nice crispy part in the corners. So I like to fill my corners up. Just like that. And I'll leave a couple of these nice pieces of bread up top, just like this, so it can get nice and crunchy up top. Build some character up too. So this way you just don't have this flat stuffing. And there it is. And spread out the wetness so it doesn't get too wet. Make sure it's evenly dispersed, wet to dry, because you don't want soggy in one spot and crispy in another. That'll drive you crazy. All right, and there it is. And don't pack it down. whatever you do, don't pack it down. Because if you pack it down, it's not going to cook light and airy. You want this to be light and airy. We'll meet you over there. All right, 350 degrees. I'm running convection. We'll meet you back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got those hog maws rolling. That stuffing's in the oven, and it's coming along mighty fine. In my opinion, nothing goes better with hog maws than a great homemade potato salad. Let's show you how to get it done. All right, I roughly have about 14 Idaho potatoes here. Now, I'm gonna explain this meal to you as we go along. So the first thing we're gonna do is just get these cooked. I'm going in the pressure cooker, 22 minutes with these. So just get them right in. And this one, I'm not gonna do a natural release. I'm gonna do a very hard release on them. All right, so let's get these in. We're going in with some salt so they won't be flat. Good amount of that salt. And then I'm just gonna fill up the cooker halfway with water. You don't need a lot of water in a pressure cooker. So there you go. Let's shake the potatoes down in there. And we're gonna lock on for 22 minutes. Meet you back here and show you how to put together a gorgeous potato salad. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we got those potatoes in the pressure cooker cooking away. The holidays just wouldn't be the holidays without a little fresh cranberry sauce. Let's get it done. So here's some fresh cranberries. There's nothing more that drives me crazy than seeing cans of cranberry sauce sitting in the supermarket. Why people don't make their own, I have no idea. It's completely different. It's a whole other beast. So we're gonna go in with some sugar. Now I make this all time of year, not just a holiday time, because it's just great on biscuits. Just put as much sugar as you want. You could use this as a pie filling. So I'm gonna go about there with it. I got some vanilla extract. Nice splash of that. We got some cinnamon. Just like you're making an apple pie. We got nutmeg. And we'll go on with that. Munch as little as you want. Make these ingredients yours. I'm a little bit heavy-handed. We got cloves. I'm easy on the clove because I don't need that strong clove feeling in there. It's going to be too much warming effect because these are warming ingredients, and a touch of salt, maybe a little bit more in there just to bring out that flavor. And the kicker, Captain Morgan. Now I left this bottle almost empty because I want to show you how much I'm pouring in. So this way, if I pour it, you guys are going to say, well, he's pouring a lot. This is how much we're using. All of it. There you go. That's going to bring out a tremendous amount of flavor. And don't worry about the alcohol because it will cook off. All right, we're going to go in here with some water. And we're going to go right up to the cranberry. 15 minutes. You got the best cranberry sauce you ever could ask for. All right, onto the stove we go, and we'll come back and we're gonna pull that stuffing out of the oven and show you that. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we got our cranberry on the stove, and just cook them down. They'll start to pop on you a little bit, and they'll get nice and thick on you. 15 minutes, that's all it takes. While we're doing that, check out these hog maws. Those are looking right. That's what they cook down to. There's a lot of hog maws, and they cook down to just that. It's probably about 6 pounds. All right, we'll meet you back here. We're gonna finish this off and fry some turkey, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, time to get our stuffing out of here. Take a look at that. Does that not look beautiful or what? Gorgeous. All right, onto the table we go with it, and we'll meet you back here. All right, check this out. See these guys cooking down? So that's it. They're gonna start to release their pectin, and they'll thicken up on you. So take your time with them. You'll hear them just popping as they go in, and then they'll get nice and thick, so no worries. All right, we're gonna meet you back here. Finish up the potato salad, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, our potatoes are now out of the pressure cooker and cooled down. Now it's time to season them up. Let's get it done. All right, so the first thing I did when these came out of the pressure cooker was I seasoned them with salt. This way it's still hot, the salt melts in. I got some capers here. We're gonna go with some capers. If you don't like capers, you don't have to put them in. Vinegar. This is white distilled vinegar. I like that bite of the vinegar in here. We got celery, onions. These are two different onions. I got a white and a red. So we're gonna just put all those in. I ratioed everything out for what I like. And you guys should do the same thing. You should ratio out the amounts for what you like. I'm going in with a little black pepper. So we'll put a little black pepper in there. If you don't like the black pepper, again, you can leave it out. It's up to you. Just make these ingredients yours. All right, I'm gonna give it a little mix for now. And I got some eggs here. We're gonna get our eggs in. I'm gonna mix just a little for now. Give it a little toss. Just like that. I think I'm gonna go with a little bit more black pepper because I do like the black pepper with this. All right, now mayo is always the last thing that I put in. I look around and just ratio this out. All right, the rest of my eggs. So just like that. I'm gonna give this a mix. Now at this point you could use relish in here. I'm not going with anything sweet. I'm just gonna use my capers and my eggs. And then I'm gonna put my mayo in. So I'm going with some Dukes. And I'm just gonna ratio this out. Now I like to use the vinegar to give that bite. So I'm gonna add a little bit more vinegar because it's gonna give that nice creamy effect. So I'm gonna put all my vinegar in. And then I'm gonna mix my mayo, which is gonna mix a lot more easier with all that vinegar we got in there. That's it. Again, make the mayo ratio yours. If you don't like as much mayo, you don't have to use it. Some people like to flood this with mayo. So, again, it's just a matter of preference. And there you have it. That's a simple, efficient, easy way to make potato salad. And your family will love this. And there it is. Nice and creamy and rich. Now I think I'm gonna let off. I'm not gonna add any more mayo to this. I think my ratios are right. I think I'm good to go. All right, I'm gonna put this away. Let's go fry some turkey. All right, time to fry some turkey. 375 degrees, you're gonna get this turkey in nice and slow, piece by piece. So I'm gonna take my turkey, get it in, and then drop it. Just like that. So you don't want to cause a lot of bubbles to come up. And as you're frying it, it's gonna pop a little bit because it is turkey. You just want to fry a couple of pieces at a time. I'm gonna get all my thighs in first. All my nice dark pieces. Get it in, and drop it, nice and easy. You'll wait for the oil to heat back up, and just repeat. All right, I'm gonna get all this dropped in, and we're gonna meet you guys back here when we're ready to pull it. This way you can see what we got. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we are 15 minutes in. Let's check this out. Look how we're looking. Nice, easy fry. See that? Those are my bony pieces. So we're looking good. It's a lot safer than dropping an entire turkey in. And not to mention, you're not going to get every piece equal anyway. This way you can just pull out your breast if you want to pull out it early, leave your legs in later. It's just a much better, safer way to fry. And believe me, you'll taste it in the food. All right, we're gonna finish frying this up and then we're gonna meet you back here. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're gonna pull some of these pieces here. I'm gonna pull the ones I feel. All right, so this is done. I'm gonna put this leg on there. I got a little backbone on here. I'm just gonna pull them as I go. Let's get this leg out of here. Look at that. That leg is looking right. All right, I'm gonna pull the rest of these, fry the rest of everything, and then we're on the chopping block, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we are on the chopping block of season 7, fried turkey, a feast for the holidays. Let's show you what we got. Take a look at that fried turkey. Now that is probably my favorite way to have turkey. Second is smoked. And that stuffing. I do appreciate a nice crispy stuffing, especially with real bread. And over to those maws. Now that's a blast from the past. I hope you guys try this one because this is definitely a must try. And we got a gorgeous potato salad. I topped that off with a little paprika. And we brought it in with some of those cranberries. Can't have a festive time without those. All right, let's plate up. The first thing we're gonna do is get some of these maws in here. So this is the way my family eats them. And I hope you guys give them a shot like this too. All right, now these cook down and they're so soft and so tender. They took about 4 hours. Clean this plate up a bit. And of course, we got some hot sauce for them. So here's that nice stuffing. And remember I told you about the corners in here? Hear that? It's nice and crispy. So I love the corner. So I'm just gonna get this entire corner right out of here. Just like that. There it is. Got some sausage in there. Gizzards. Now the gizzards are broken down, so you won't taste them in there. Texture wise, but you will taste them. Now let's get some of this turkey. I'll go for a wing. And I do like the bony back pieces, so some of this gorgeous potato salad. Very simple and homey. I mean, this just screams holiday time. Get a little bit more in there. And there it is. And last but not least, I'll put a little cranberry sauce. Now I like the cranberry sauce right on the side of the stuffing. That's just me. So I'll just get some of that cranberry right on side. Now this goes great with the sausage. And there's nothing better than just homemade cranberry sauce. And get a lot of that on there. And last, we're just going to top off those maws with a little hot sauce. Gotta have that. And that's it. And we got some cornbread in the oven, which we'll show you guys more of that at a later date. All right, let's get into those maws. Let's try those first. You know, it's amazing how one bite of something can just take you to another time in life. Usually we mix them with chitlins, but a lot of people don't eat chitlins, and that's a great alternative. Beautiful either way, but it just takes you home and just brings you back to all the holiday time, Christmas, Thanksgiving. I hope you guys try that. And for you guys that know what that is, I hope that takes you back too. All right, let's get a hold of that turkey. Now take a look at this wing. It's fried. Look at that. It pulls right apart. It's like fried chicken. Let's give this a shot. In my opinion, that's probably one of the best ways to ever eat turkey. I usually buy turkeys a couple of times a year and I fry them up because they're delicious this way. They almost taste like fried chicken. It's not tough. You don't pull at it. Keep them under 14 pounds and you got yourself a feast. And we fried that in lard, by the way. That's right. We fried that 100% in lard. Nothing beats something like this. It's just a great way to have turkey. Outstanding. All right, let's get a hold of that salad. How do you go wrong with an old-fashioned potato salad with eggs and capers? You can't. That matches everything on this plate completely. That was what we had as a kid. My mom would always make the hog maws and the potato salad on the side because they go so well. And then you got a biscuit to sop it all up. Outrageous. All right, last but not least, let's get a hold of that sausage stuffing with that homemade cranberry. That stuffing with that homemade turkey neck broth is outstanding. Sweet, savory, you got the sausage in there, all the onions. It's a simple but yet beautiful way to have it. You have that beautiful cranberry that we made on the side. It's homemade. You can really taste that nice rum kick through on there too. It's not overly powering, but you definitely taste it through that nice rum that's in there. It's an outstanding meal. The entire meal together makes complete culinary sense. All right, we're gonna get organized. We're gonna meet you guys right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, there it is. One outrageously fried turkey. That's a great recommendation to put on your holiday table. We threw down with some stuffing on the side. We used those necks, those turkey necks and the gizzards to make that. Made a stock. Leftover bread. And on the side of that, a beautiful potato salad. Cranberry sauce. And those hog maws. You can never go wrong with hog maws. Blast back to the past from my childhood. And I hope you try all of this. A Southern staple. And like always, we always enjoy having you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And with no further ado, gotta get that last holiday bite of turkey there.